Hello, welcome to Fireside Chats. My name is Magla Pillai and today's topic is philanthropy. In today's episode, we look at what philanthropy is and what it's not. We look at its synonyms and we look at what one can give and how one can give it. I'd like to introduce you to our speaker. It's Sister Denise, who has been practicing Raj Yoga meditation for several decades and is here today to share with us her wisdom and her experience in the subject of spirituality. Sister Denise, a very warm welcome to today's show.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Philanthropy. Let's start with the definition. What does it mean to you?
Well, literally, it means having love for another. And so any action that you do which is of benefit to another person, that's philanthropy. But the way that it works in practical terms is it's all to do with charity, charitable action for people who otherwise would not enjoy those things which you might even call rights. You know, the right to housing, the right to education, the right to food, the right to opportunities. So, you know, what happens in any society is there are a few people who have a lot of wealth and there's a lot of people who have less than what they need in order to have a life which is adequate. And so the transfer of wealth from those who have to those who have not is really philanthropy. And another thing that I think is very significant is that it is when a person, you know, begins to actually give back to society that they start to experience happiness. Generally, people think that it is by accumulating that you experience happiness. And so people do that to a large extent, and to such a point where the moment of giving back comes, but that is also the moment when you start to experience the true happiness. So that's very significant.
Okay. Sister Denise, is there any link between philanthropy and altruism?
Well, altruism is to be concerned about others. So in that sense, it's almost synonymous. But in spiritual study, we start looking at how the law of karma operates for people who give back. And what we see is that it is not possible for you to do an act which benefits others, but that there isn't a return back to you. So very often altruism is considered that I'm doing something for others, I'm not getting anything back from it, but that is not really true. You cannot do something of benefit to others without it benefiting you.
Okay. So, Sister Denise, what happens when an individual gives to others, like a body in need, a group of people in need, but he or she acts with selfish motives? In other words, I will donate this amount of money to you, provided that my name goes up on your door for life. Is that philanthropy if there's a motive that's not?
Well, put it like this. If you donate a lot of money for the benefit of people, and so that's good, but you require your name to be up, then it means that you have taken the reward. And that's not that great to just have your name up on somebody's door, you know. What is better is to make that donation. There is an expression in India, they say Guptadan Mahapunya. So punya is a very interesting expression. Punya sometimes is translated straight as charity, but it means something much more than that. If you make a donation and you do not look for any return, but you just let that go. The energy of your pure karma comes back to you in a very great way, in a very large way, but over a long period of time without you stipulating what and when and how. So it's actually a much greater return, similar to if you make an investment and you want an immediate return, you don't get that much. But if you make an investment and you leave it for a long duration, when that becomes mature, what you get back is very large in comparison with your investment. So in a sense, all of these acts of philanthropy seem to be for the benefit of other people, but it is for the benefit of other people, but it is also your investment. And if you do just think about it only as for the benefit of other people, you know that there will be a return, but you're not looking for it. When it comes, it'll be big and probably a few lifetimes away, and you will not know why this is there. So that is that's considered great.
Okay. Now, when it comes to philanthropy, why be philanthropic in the first place? Because we all know that the vast majority of people around us are not. Why choose such a life?
Well, I think that what a person wants is happiness. That's why we're alive. And we live in a materialistic world which promises us that, you know, you'll be happy when you get married to this perfect person, and you have this perfect family, and you have this perfect house, and this perfect job, and so on and so forth. It's all about you receiving physical things, then you get happy. And then people do that, and they find they don't get happy. But if you really do what you have to do in order to accumulate a good big fortune, and then you find that you turn to philanthropy, comes naturally, giving back, that is when you really find that fulfillment. So this is really the payback, you know. Why would you be philanthropic is because it gives a dimension to your life, a dimension of meaning that is very, very satisfying. You know, there are so many people in this world who are in trouble, and you have an urge inside you that I wish I could do something for these people or this person or whatever. And maybe you give them $1 or something like this, and then they go and use it to get drugs or get drunk or whatever it is that is their addiction, because usually it is an addict who's in that kind of situation. Then the negative use that they make of what you gave them goes onto your karmic account. So instead of benefiting, you are actually enabling a person to ruin their life even quicker, and you don't get any benefit from that. So these are subtleties of the laws of karma that apply to charity. And I think that, you know, when you have a very large amount of money, then you are able to do something, build a hospital, build a university, build a cultural center, you know, do something so that, you know, a whole population or a good number of people can really have a quality of life that is substantially raised. You know, this is serious charity. And of course most people don't have that. But whenever you give, you know, you actually feel better than when you take. But the law of karma will say, well, be very careful in your giving that what you give isn't going to enable a person to do something wrong or harmful to themselves, but make sure that when you give, you actually are getting that person to do something which is really good for themselves.
Now, Sister Denise, selfishness is omnipresent in this world, and many would say that I barely have enough for myself and my family. I don't have a cent to spare. There is no way that I'm giving to someone else, because all I can think of right now is the survival of my family. What would you say that one can become philanthropic when you have excess, or can anybody be generous and altruistic?
Well, everybody can be generous. Even if you are in survival, there's many ways in which you can offer hospitality, even if it's very little ways. But anything that you can do, a kind word, welcoming, protecting, caring, anything like this is an act of philanthropy, and it will come back to you in a positive way, and also you will feel better. You will feel that there is a dimension of extra meaning in your life, and you won't be just thinking about what you can get for you only. Of course, most people are selfish, and they will be through that they will not experience this. So, but somebody who is naturally generous, or you're in a culture where there is a lot of importance given to hospitality, you can find people who have next to nothing but who are motivated by sharing. Those people are happier, substantially happier.
Sister Denise, people confuse philanthropy with money. Okay, because many hold the view that the only thing that people want and the only thing that I can give is money. But philanthropy is far more than money. Would you tell the viewer, what is it that human beings can give? There's an entire range of things, and not just material. What can they give of the self? Because I think far too many people are woefully ignorant of what it is they have to offer to the world. We tend to be short-sighted and what's the word I'm looking for? We have blinkers on as far as our definition of philanthropy is concerned. Could you please expand our view on that?
Everybody has assets, not just physical money. You have space, you can give shelter, you can give company, you can be with someone when they're not well, you can give encouragement to someone, you can help a person to get across some difficulties. I mean, so many people have a hard time with filling forms. You know, just somebody who helps people fill forms. That's really a nice thing to do. You can give work to somebody. You can give knowledge to someone. You can educate someone. You can so many things you can give, which is all coming from your heart for the benefit of that person. Everybody has qualities, so many different attributes, and all of these are assets. All of it can be transferred. You can transfer virtues, you can transfer powers, you can transfer vibrations, so many things.
Yes, I'm glad that you mentioned the last aspect, because I need to ask you this question in that context. There are a category of people who would like to be philanthropic, but they do not want to be seen as being naive. They, the giver, the potential giver, does not want to be used or abused or taken advantage of or taken for granted, any of these 5 things, because when you really want to give from your heart, you're doing it with the highest of intentions, and you do not want to be seen as weak because you want to give from a position of strength. So would you share with the viewer how one gives, but from a stance of wisdom, not from weakness? I'm speaking of the giver, not the recipient.
Yes. Well, first of all, the giver has to be careful, because it's very easy to be manipulated and to be fooled, to be caught up. You know, there are lots and lots of people who are on the lookout for naive people, and so you have to be smart. If you are motivated by somebody's sob story and you didn't check it out, or you didn't get a real sense of, you know, what kind of responsibility you have in that and what kind of karmic consequences there are going to be, then definitely you are naive. And in the spiritual knowledge that we study in Brahma Kumaris, it is said that if you make a direct connection or a direct donation to someone, especially someone who is not engaged in right action, then you are creating a karmic account with that person, and you're basically being made a fool of and being used and abused. What you want to do, which a lot of devotees do, they give in the name of God. It's like an indirect donation. And then the better donation is to give in such a way that you are actually participating in God's task. So if you say to God, okay God, I am yours and everything of mine is yours, now you guide me how I should be operating so that I am helping you to get your task fulfilled. And then your karmic account is with God, and that's actually very good if you can have a karmic account with God, because of course the return of that is very good, and you are protected from getting into trouble by having a karmic account with somebody who is going to take you for a ride, and there are many.
Okay, this has been an absolutely fascinating subject, because there are many, I think, who'd like to do more and be more for humanity, but who simply do not know how. So you've clarified many aspects of what it means to be a giver, and also how one can ensure, well, maximum karmic return. So thank you for that. So there you have it, brothers and sisters, what it means to be philanthropic. Sister Denise has shared a number of points which I don't think is common knowledge. She has shared what it means to give. Many of us think that money is the only thing that can be given, but Sister Denise has shared that we can give our time, our energy, our virtues to others. She has also warned what it means to be in danger as far as your giving is concerned, to not be manipulated and taken advantage of. And she has also cautioned that one should always bear the law of karma in mind when you are giving your gifts to others. So thank you so much for joining us, and I do wish you everything of the best in your philanthropic spiritual journey. Take care and goodbye.